Fall, the free fall is over temporarily.
Hey,
Yeah, it is. Tigers in Cleveland. Tigers went final 4-2 over the Guardians, and this last few weeks have been. I don't even know how to describe it. Hell on earth for Tiger fans. I'm not sure. I'm not gonna be staying on too long because I'm all this right here is swollen. I'm out of it. I'm Rahel Kazoo. I'm is Mike Papchek and Yoop. And you can find us on Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to Spotify. These two gentlemen will take over here in a second. But I just wanted to thank everybody. Check out the Tiger Minor League Report live stream the other day, and was able to, or yesterday. That was yesterday. As Erie lost in the. It was a very good Binghamton team, and that Rumble Ponies pitcher is going to be in the Mets rotation at some point next year. The guy had a really good split finger fastball. Had a lot of things working for him, but yeah, they won a game. Yes, they
hey,
did. They won a game, and desperate times call for desperate measures. And I don't know. It was just the amount of pitchforks and all that stuff. Good evening, Doug. Good to see you. Excuse me, Mr. Kloss. Sorry, I never called him Doug. Mr. Kloss. Uh, there's a lot of anger, and I understand that. And there's just a lot of the pitchforks were high, and everybody's just like slicing up, saying, like it's the World Series is on. Houston needs to do. The Angels need to do us a solid this weekend. So the Tiger fans are solid this weekend. So we'll see what happens there. But I got nothing. Like I just in Jed UK, you've been fighting a good fight, man. Like I don't like you've been getting some trolled, some real. You've been doing a lot of assholes, honestly, man.
what's the Tigers' record since Jed saw them in person? Can we blame this on him?
No, I'm not blaming it on Jed. Jed's a trooper, man. Jed's awesome, and I just think that just some of these people. Yeah, the winning thing they should do more often, Kyle. Absolutely. It's been like I said. It's a game. It's a. I got nothing. Like it's. There's no words to describe what we've just witnessed. It's total crap. It's crap. It's absolutely crap.
I can't believe how much it's affected my day-to-day life, to be completely honest with you. Like, friends with, you have your work friends. What's the easiest thing to talk about is sports. Had no interest in talking about baseball for the last 2 weeks. Every time someone brings it up, like somebody from like 3 rows down is just like, they're going to lose again. Like it's every day, man. Like somebody's got to make a comment, and it's like, it's fun. It's sports. It doesn't really matter, but I'm not going to lie that it's been short with people. I have not been as nice as maybe I usually am. And I'm relieved tonight that they know what a win looks like before the end of the year. And I'm being a little facetious, but like, holy crap, for a second there, I was really worried they wouldn't even win a single game the rest of the year, man.
And if they're going to go on a little mini streak here, it starts with one, and they got their one tonight. And it's funny. They scored 4 runs, and it feels like they had an offensive outburst because the offense has been so poor for so long. And I would agree. I mean, I try to take things in stride as much as any fan, I believe. Even the last few days, I was like, man, this is really beginning to be a slog to watch because you could just see so many of these games evolving because they've all been so similar. They can't put together a rally to save their lives. I mean, the idea of 6 or 7 guys coming to the plate in an inning is just not happening. So it was tough. So tonight was quite the scene to get this win. I thought, to me, this game, when they had the bases loaded and Torkelson popped up and Riley Green swung at ball 4, it was really, I thought, a game-changing moment. But the Detroit Tiger bullpen came to this, they were equal to the task, and they picked up those guys tonight. That was huge.
So it's magic number. It's essentially it's 2. Yeah. So that's what they have to do. But you take the win any way you can, and it's what's been happening with me is I've had friends of mine troll me because I've been logical about this and going, well, guys, it's just I don't have an explanation. Well, you should fire Harris. Harris should be. I've seen things like Harris should be hung, and it is the Tigers have been able to get to like this team lost 93 games 2 years ago. What am I missing here? Like it's just the amount of hate that and look, and Harris did not. There's some things that Harris has not done. I get it. he's the smartest guy in the room. People get mad about smug people. That's what happens with people. People that are kind of like Harris, who are smart people, they don't like him. It's that simple. And he's not relatable to some people and to some. And I think, I think the biggest thing for Detroit fans is that they made the postseason last year, and they're potentially going to make the postseason again 2 years in a row. Never happened in the Avila era. Never like 2019. Is Mike and I were talking about this beforehand. This team was a total crap show, and we're sitting here now. We're talking like it's the end of the world, and we're supposed to sit there and somebody was making fun of prospects, like, well, the prospects haven't done anything, and like all this weird, and we're clucks apparently because we pointed out that Harris made the playoffs last year.
I mean, Roger, expectations change in a season. It's funny, like fans get emotional, and when you're 23 games above 500, I mean, Roger, it was a historic collapse. Like literally, if they don't win the division, which is somehow still on the table after tonight's win, it will be the biggest collapse in history.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
you can't ignore the history. I'm not saying ignore that. That sucks, and it's a turd sandwich. That is 100% crap. They could have done more. You could have done the he said she said thing, or woulda, coulda, shoulda. But the Tigers, maybe like the fact that they thought the Tigers weren't ready to win the World Series. Yeah, so what? What if they weren't ready to win the World Series? If they didn't want to give up all the prospects, yeah. It's not the Padres. It's not Seattle.
It's been such a frustrating stretch. Lots of people they have to pin blame somewhere, right? And I can tell from as someone who criticized Tarek Skubal a little bit this week, and the blowback I got on that, people don't want to blame him. Well, not that they should blame him, but they don't want to do it to the players. Scott Harris is the one that's an easy target. And that's okay. That's part of his job. And at the end of the day, I bet he does not care. I've been trying to ignore that because basically, what are the odds Scott Harris is not in charge of this team? Zero, right? I mean, he's here unless he wants to leave.
Right.
So I've been trying to ignore it, but it does get loud out there. That's for sure.
Yeah, and like I said, there's a lot of things that are going on internally that it's one of those things where they've been able to, as said here, blaming people doesn't actually accomplish anything. Is he a target old BK? I think he is because Tiger fans have a different. I mean, if you look at the Detroit sports fan scene, perhaps like they look at Dan Campbell with his statements being out there, in the media and everything. I think that's what it is. I think people think that Harris is just a suit kind of thing. Chris Ilitch not spending money. It's all correlated together. That's why I think he's an easy target, BK. I think that's why.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't really plan on talking about this, but I'm not saying he didn't do good things for the Miners, but let's look at every acquisition that he's gotten this year. How many of them have worked out? All of them look bad right now. Every single addition, except for Gleyber Torres, who is still not doing as well as he did in the first half of the year. But every single pitcher that Scott Harris brought in this year has not worked out.
What about Finnegan? I mean, if we're
okay, Finnegan has been fine, but he's going through a rough patch right now. Finnegan is literally the only exception out of what? 13 pitchers?
Flaherty? I mean, Flaherty's done okay.
Flaherty's got like a 5 ERA.
Rafi Montero?
Yeah. I mean, Mike, if you're talking about Flaherty as totality, lately has struggled. Early in the season, he was doing fine. I'm just, a lot of his acquisitions, you can talk about Miss Pinstree. He is flatlined a little bit, but he's inherited.
Brebbia is cut. Morton's cut.
But he's also been,
should be cut.
Yeah, he's been impatient with guys like Matt Gage, PJ Pullen. They've been getting really impatient with those guys to the point where Pullen even pitch here. I don't think he was on a 40-man roster. Was added. They just kept circulating all these guys out, and Pullen's now doing pretty well as a lefty with the Nationals. So there's a lot of blame that Harris should do. Absolutely, yeah. I'm not disputing that whatsoever. But It's also, here's the thing. He also has to be more clever on the trade side of things and maybe more flexible. There's a lot of things that he could do right. He could do, but however, look what this team is. They're in the post. They're within 2 wins of getting in the postseason. They win tomorrow. Houston loses. They're in. It's that simple. From there, that's it's all it's all house money or whatever you want to say from there.
Right.
So
And I'm not saying I want him fired. Like, I'm not in that camp. That's not what I'm saying. It's just I understand why he's getting blame. A lot of things have not worked out this year. And I realize that I think that a fair amount of blame should go on the players, but also maybe on fans' expectations when every single guy overachieves on offense. Like, it gets to a point where it's going to eventually regress to the mean just a little bit. And it's just happening all at the same time. I mean,
if how about this as something to chew on a little? If they had gotten to where they are right now, 86 wins, and done it a bit more traditionally without this massive swoon after playing incredible 600 plus
Right.
baseball for 2 months, if they had just gotten here and this was a big game with first place on the line and they hadn't been playing like absolute crap lately, would you still feel like Scott Harris had underachieved?
I mean, if the players still perform, like, players would have to have performed differently for something like that to happen. Like, that's what I'm trying to say, too, with the whole you super overperform, your slump is going to be harder, probably. That's kind of what's happening with McKinstry and Baez, or like the two biggest ones. They were all-stars. They're regressing hard right now.
No question.
And it's because they were never that good, and they're not this bad either. Like, it's what happens in 162 games. And you're right, it does make you think, but unfortunately, it's not what happened. If they would have stayed 10 games over 500 all year, and this is what things looked at, we would be feeling differently. But we are at a point where they were at 23, 24, 25 games over 500.
Yeah, now they're not.
And now, yeah, they did lose 10 straight. They were way below 500.
They gave up. They gave up at the trade deadline. They literally gave up at the trade
They were
deadline.
like the Tigers. Yeah, they sold.
Yeah, and Chris Brown. I like that.
Good day, gentlemen.
I like that outfit there, Chris. Looks looks sharp there. Yes.
Thank you. It's a T-shirt and a full zip.
I like that. The quarter zip. He's going with the Harris look.
Well, it's a full zip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No collar.
Yeah. It does have. Well, it's got a little bit of this, but yeah. What did you guys know the Tigers could win?
No,
I wasn't sure. I literally
They're allowed
said
to win
I
games?
wasn't sure if they would. The rest
They're
of
allowed
the
to
year.
beat the Guardians. Yeah, I'm sure you've already discussed plenty of stuff about the game, but yeah, nice to see them get a win for sure. Obviously, it makes everything feel a little bit better, especially when the Astros won earlier today. Still kind of frustrating that they couldn't get a big hit with men on base.
Yeah.
But you take a win whenever you can get it, right?
Yeah, I talked about that when you missed it. After they did not score in that situation, the bullpen really rose to the occasion, and I thought was the biggest part of the night.
Yeah, I mean, I think give credit to all the pitchers, really. I mean, Melton did his thing for a little bit. Herder had some big outs. Canley came in. Yeah, just Holton. It was a Johnny Holstaff game, right? And I don't know. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I missed 12 minutes. I don't know what else you guys covered.
we were just kind of like. Well, I was say if you have some thoughts, we're just really kind of like just sorting through the last couple of weeks and some of the comments, some of the stuff. And I was about to sign off because all this right here, I don't know, since I got home yesterday, all this right here has been sore. Like my soul, and I don't know if I got to get sick or something. I just feel like one down. So I was going to hand it off to you guys I'm going to sit back and take some lozenges because like I started a new job Monday. I don't want to get sick. So that's the last thing I want to do. Ricola. Yeah. So, no, take it away, gentlemen. I'll be, like I said, I'm going to hang back, but, thanks everybody again for, checking out the live stream yesterday. We had over 1,500 people watching that yesterday. At one point, it was really nice to see, even though they nearly lost, and congratulations to, again, Binghamton.
Yeah.
So, TMI, my throat sore. Okay.
Yeah.
They
I don't want to hear.
You're not a human being. You are
616 is a germaphobe.
Yeah, I must talk to Tigers. Sorry about that. I will stop talking about myself. All right, gentlemen, I'm going to sign off. And yeah, no more TMI. 2 more information. See ya.
Well, let's look at Kevin there.
Oh, okay, 6-1. All right. It was a joke. Okay. Sorry, I'm just like I
I
said.
don't think
That's
they.
how we do it.
Yep,
So I
Kevin
read
says-
context sometimes. Yeah. So Kevin, my bad. 616. My bad.
No.
What did Kevin say? Nice start by Melton. Yes.
Nice
Could
start by
Melton be a
Melton. Let's
starter?
start with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's. You know what? Let me before I hand it off to you guys about Melton. I'm going to say this about Melton. Just fragile care with Melton. It's fragile care. He is the future. Please.
I say let that big dog eat, man. He is a big, strong kid. You go out and you let him throw. You make him your number 3, number 2 starter next year, whatever. But yes, right now, take it easy. But yeah, like you see a lot to like there. Although I do have a small beef with him, but I can bring it up in a little bit.
All right, gentlemen. I'll see you guys in a bit.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Right.
Yeah, I think using him for 10 to 12 outs, probably how they're going to have to roll from here. But he certainly looks up to the task. He got through the. I've been calling the Juan Ramirez part of the lineup the hot zone, right? It gets ugly there. He got through the hot zone twice with no runs. That's pretty impressive, And for the night, the pitching staff only have 1 run to that part of the order. Another key part to how they won this thing.
That's why I was sure they were going to take this game because I was like, they got Jose Ramirez out in the 8th. He's not coming up to bat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that was the beginning, right? That was Finnegan. He gave up a run earlier, right? But was it Finnegan who gave up the run? It was, wasn't it? Wasn't it Ramirez
gave up the
on the
RBI.
double? Yeah.
It was
But yeah, I
Bolton's
mean
run.
that getting through Ramirez, that's in Manzardo, that's tough. But yeah, I think it's so frustrating. I was looking. This is not my inside the numbers or whatever, but Austin Hedges, it felt like he was on base. Like he kept getting on base every time they faced him. He's getting on base in front of the guys you don't want to have people on base for, and it's Austin Hedges, like a career 180 hitter.
Yeah.
And I was looking. He's 4 for 14 against the Tigers this year, and like 18 for 140 against everybody else.
They've walked him a couple times too, I think.
Yeah, he's got 2 walks. Yeah, it's I mean that's he's got a major league job because he's a great defender, but it's frustrating when you see that. But they get through it.
I mean, Jhonkensy Noel, dude's a 160 hitter lifetime, but they call him up and he just mashes home runs against the Tigers. So it's just
Brian Rocchio seems to always hit against the Tigers. Like I was talking about this with Raj last night when we were doing the live stream. It's like it feels like sometimes Cleveland is playing a different sport than the Tigers. Like the way they execute and the way that things just seem to go right for them. The George Valera home run was a home run in 1 of 30 stadiums.
yeah.
And the
And
number of
his
hits,
glove.
the number of hits they get on pitches that were actually not bad, or the velocity is under 90 miles an hour. It's exit velocity. It's a very difficult team to beat. And the Tigers are looking at like they're going to have to play them again here very soon, but it's still in their destiny is still in their hands, right?
Yeah.
They are, if they go out and beat Boston, they can go sweep them. And if Cleveland loses, you win the division, right?
Yeah, and they're playing Texas. Texas is without Wyatt Langford, but it's not like he was an all-star this year. He's just a good player. But it seems like Texas is playing hard. So
they're also without Simeon and Seager.
And they're not playing for anything. I just don't see that happening. You're playing Boston, who does have something to play for. If the Tigers sweep, they're ahead of Boston. So I don't know. Well, or Cleveland would be, like they're playing. Boston's still playing for something. I can't take more than 1 win at a time right now.
Well, yeah, I know. And this is, we don't want to put the cart before the horse here, right here, but I want to pose a hypothetical for you. And I know my answer would be here, but let's say you've got a chance to win the division on Sunday, but or hold Tarik Skubal back and have him pitch if you need him in game 1 of the AL or the wild card series. Do you send Skubal out there on Sunday knowing that he might then not pitch at all if you lose, or do you hold him back and have him as your game 1 starter in case you don't win?
No.
So if he pitches, you might win the division. If he doesn't pitch, you're going to be on the road in the wild card.
Yep.
Is that what you're getting at?
Yep. That's the scenario. The hypothetical scenario here is if he pitches, if you've got a chance to win and win the division on Sunday, do you pitch Tarik Skubal knowing that if you lose, you might be on the road in the wild card without Tarik Skubal at all in the series?
And you're not getting the second seed though, right? You're going to be the third seed even if you win the division.
Yep.
Yeah. I think I would save him. I know I'm positive that the Tigers would pitch him, but I think I'd save him.
No, I mean, I think
you can have the best of both worlds and have him be the opener and see if he can get you a lead.
uh-huh.
But that won't happen. I'm just kidding. I might
Yeah.
hold him out. If that's the exact scenario, I might hold him out.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because it would be one thing, like if you got a chance to get the second seed, then yeah, you know, if you win that, you have a week off basically.
Yeah.
But in this scenario, what do they get? 2 days off, 1 day off between when the series starts.
Yep.
So I mean, you could theoretically have him pitch in like a game 3, but yeah,
If there's one, yeah.
Just something to think about. Again, we got to get there first. Tigers still need to.
Do you hold him out? What would you do?
I think I would hold him out. I would probably. It's tough though. But in my head, if they do this and they have a playoff spot locked up, it'll be kind of like last year. Like they had locked up a playoff spot, and you felt like they should really push in the final 2 games against the White Sox to play against Kansas City, or I think it was going to be Kansas City, right?
Might have been, yeah.
And they didn't, so they ended up with the Astros. They didn't win those final 2 games, and I think ultimately they didn't care. Once they were in, they just wanted to get everything cleaned up for the playoff series. So my guess is if they do clinch a playoff spot, say Houston, loses or they win, a couple games of Boston, I'm thinking Sunday is the Chris Paddock show, baby.
Oh God. I was going to say Keter Montero, but you might be right.
I mean, seriously,
I might not watch that game, Chris. I'm not going to lie. I might not.
Honestly, like Paddock, you're not going to put him on the playoff roster. You traded for him. You might as well put him out there and have him eat some innings, and who cares how many runs he gives up if you've already clinched a playoff spot. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't think you use him in any kind of real scenario, but it's Paddock and it's Sewald and whoever else you want to throw out there that you aren't planning on using in game 1.
Yeah, I think I actually agree with Kevin. We can't pull up your messages here right now without Raj, but said I would not pitch him. Only pitch him to get number 2 spot, which is I think is gone. Which is I think that's true. I think I would pitch him to try to get the first round bye, because then you could pitch him. Like he would get days rest. So I mean, yeah, I think that makes sense.
And I would hope he'd be ready to go. He would have a lot of rest. I mean, if he's pitching well, he could go 7-8 innings on that many days off.
Well, I mean, we're on this. Can we talk about his start a little bit? I don't know. Maybe this is a very untrained eye. I saw several pitches just that just seemed way off the mark. I just felt like he was all over the place, way more wild, and it looked like him and like they were looking at each other like sometimes. I don't know. Skubal's last couple starts, I'm not worried, but it's something that I've noticed, I guess is what I'm saying.
He hasn't looked as dominant to me. He was doing fine. He was hanging in there, but he hasn't been dominating the inside of the plate to me, the inner half, as much as he had been. The changeup has been sporadic at times. Still, he's the best pitcher they have, and he's the best pitcher they've had in years. And I feel like when you disparage him in any way, people get on you.
I mean, probably, but for me, it's just something I'm worried about. Like, I don't think he's not incredible. I'm just saying his last 4 starts haven't been like dominant Skubal starts, and that is something I'm worried about for the playoffs too, which is why I'm bringing this up, just ultimately because it's another reason why I just give him the more rest. Like, I need the dude to rest. I don't want to keep pitching him on short rest.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many of those walks were in that 6th inning? He walked 3. I'm trying to go back and look, because he was hit 100 like 8-9 times early in that game, right?
Yeah.
I was sitting next to Raj, and I said I did not like that, because it reminded me of back in the day, and I've seen it with Skubal a few times, when he's really amped up early, and this used to happen with Verlander, when he would really hump up for that triple digits early in the game, he would run out of gas. He would like hit a wall. and I was worried that would happen. And then in the sixth, we were in the game at Erie, and Roger was updating me, and it was so you have the bunt with the hike, the long snap,
Yeah.
the
I have
swinging
so many
bunch,
things to say about that.
strike, balk. So he didn't walk anybody in that inning, huh? All the walks were before that.
No. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean he's the command has been off in the second half of the season. But he's still your best option by a mile.
Of course.
Oh, of course.
So.
Yeah. Okay, let's just talk about that inning, okay? It's 2-0. Tigers are ahead. Riley Green has just shown a pulse,
Mhm.
had hit a home run. Now is the time, you got to consolidate that inning and move forward. I'm not the biggest believer in shutdown innings, but boy, that would have been a good time for one. Now, the first bunt, okay, fine. Nothing you can do. The second bunt was the start of what I've been calling the unholy hat trick. Okay,
Yeah.
his error, the wild pitch, and the balk. With a 2-run lead, and you are Tarek freaking Skubal, okay? Why do you throw that thing between your legs? Just the dumbest play I can imagine right there. If they get runners on first and second and nobody out, you are Tarek Skubal. You can get out of that inning. Or you can get out of it maybe allowing one run, okay, because you're the best pitcher on the planet, possibly. But instead, he just brain dead fired that thing over Torkelson's head. I could not believe it. I almost swallowed my tongue. I mean, it's just brutal.
I see
And
it as
the rest of the inning unfolded how it did. A lot of people hate when I say this too, but I'll say it anyway. Say it here. I thought he overreacted to hitting Fry. I mean, I know it's a scary moment, but Ray Chapman died 110 years ago. It's been a long time. Okay, he lost his focus so bad, throwing the hat down, throwing the glove. I mean, come on. Javi Baez fouled one off his face 2 weeks ago. I mean, the world didn't stop. Okay, he comes out and fires that wild pitch. He gets goaded into a balk, complete lack of focus. 3 runs across. It really, and I love Tarek Skubal. He's one of the 4 best pitchers I've ever seen in a Tigers uniform in my lifetime. But I thought that was one of the worst innings or chain of events that happened to a star Tigers player that I can recall.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to fault him for his humanity.
I
I know you're supposed to be a cold-blooded athlete out there, and I think Justin Verlander and Max Scherzer might not have cared that much. But Tarek Skubal, he just, I don't know. You hit a guy in the face with 99 miles an hour, and you watch his nose explode in front of you. Should it have? I'm sure he was worried and thinking about it. But the inning had started to unravel before that, right? Like it was, and the long snap play.
Oh,
that was the only play he had, right?
I think it was hubris. I think that when you're so good at something, you maybe think that nothing can go wrong, and he's got to know how good he is. He probably was like, if this works, this is going to be insane. And then
here's the thing. People were comparing it to the Mark Burley play and a couple others that pitchers have made, fielding bunts and swinging bunts and flipping it to first in fancy fashion. All of those happened in the middle of the season with nobody else on base, and the outcome of the game really wasn't that big of a deal. We're in late September. You got a 2-run lead. You've been losing your ass for 2 weeks. Okay, you can't beat anybody. You got a team where you want them. To try that was just inexcusable.
I've seen so many players try things at the wrong time. And you're like, what in the hell were you thinking? You're just, you're trying to get the out. You do something stupid. But yeah, Burley and I think Bartolo Colon are the 2 people I've seen actually pull that off. Nobody else has ever done it. Right? It's completely stupid. But I'll be honest with you. I could think of not like specific instances, but dozens and dozens of times where other infielders have made a throw that they shouldn't have because they're trying to get an out. Right? It's you're off balance and you're throwing and the ball gets away, or you really should hold on to it because it's you're not going to get the runner. It's everything's like a split second, and obviously, nobody's throwing between their legs. You're not banana balling it out there, but
I think the long snapper issue takes it to another level.
Yeah.
Today.
Well, I mean, and I'm a firm believer that everybody should be training their kids to be long snappers.
Oh yes.
If you want, you can get them you can get a full ride to any D1 school if you can long snap. So everybody should be doing that when they're not pitching.
And backup quarterback gets full ride, doesn't have to play.
Oh yeah, Mike, we didn't even have a chance to talk about the Missouri quarterback who was drafted by the Dodgers and got injured on like the very first play of the season.
Very first play he started, Sam Horn.
Wow.
After missing an entire year from Tommy John surgery, he'd come back. He's a junior and he's pitched 24 collegiate innings.
Yeah, and the Dodgers gave him several $100,000 in like the 17th round or whatever, and allowed him to
$500,000.
Yeah, that's bad luck.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, no, Sam Horn. I think it's okay. He wasn't even. He had lost the quarterback competition too, so that was what was even worse about it is. I don't want to get into it. But anyway, we do need to get to something really quick here. Take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me. Now at a special discount for our listeners, get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/hit and use promo code HIT at checkout. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/hit and enter code HIT at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/hit, code HIT.
All right. Hey. That's when Roger was talking about this the other day. Roger just went through a job transition. He got a new one. We're all happy for him. But I went through that like a year ago, and it was super annoying. I never considered that people would try to use the information you put online for getting a job to scam you. And I started getting scam phone calls constantly, and people calling it and saying they got a job for me, but they need my social security number right now. It's like, get out of here. So yeah, delete me. Delete all your nonsense off the internet. That's what I would say. You're into some weird stuff on the internet. Delete me. You're watching insect pornography. Get it out of here. But anyway.
Who told you?
So Riley Green hit a home run off a lefty tonight. What did we think of that one?
Well, that's nice. I like seeing Riley Green hit home runs, right? Like the 36 homers. I
am embarrassed that I guess I knew that, but seeing the 36 on the screen just made me realize wow, that's 4 from 40. Holy crap.
Yeah. He's probably not going to get there, but it is,
right.
It's an awful lot. You hope he's 24, right? You hope that at a certain point he can kind of combine what he did last year and this year, and you get a little less of that strikeout with the bases loaded, where he fought off some pitches in the zone, was really battling. He missed the pitch to drive. It was 93 right down the middle, and then just completely chased a ball in the dirt. Now it's a lefty. Breaking balls, they're tough, but you hope he can get to the point where he's laying off those at least. And I was talking to Raj. It felt like you could get Riley Green to chase inside basically every single time. I don't know what it is about his swing, or maybe it's just the length of it. He can't hold off on those inside pitches, but just need to adjust that a little bit, because obviously the power is fantastic and he's still a good defender. So just need to, continue rounding out the rest of his game.
Yeah.
It's interesting. As we talked about people getting on Scott Harris, there was also a little bit, if you look for it, you can find, we got to trade Riley Green.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of that actually. That's actually why I've been staying off the internet. It's unbelievable that the thoughts are out there that Riley Green is a detriment to the team.
People lose their mind when something like this happens. It's right. And I understand it, right? You're a fan, and so you're never doing anything anyway. You're not out there taking grounders, you're not hitting the ball, but you feel so helpless when you just watch a team that has absolutely no answers and is going out there. And this really is, everybody's talking about, this is the most historic kind of collapse anybody's ever seen in baseball. It's not over though. Again, they won today. That was huge. Still got a chance to win the division. Mm-hmm. And it's just, you just don't see two teams that are right next to each other in the standings go in such opposite directions at the same time. Now, part of that is Cleveland got to play the Tigers 6 times. So, and just the quality of baseball they were playing it sucked. But it's just people can't see the forest for the trees, right? Like this is an 86 win season. This is a team that made the playoffs last year. You know, everybody had higher hopes this year, and for a long time it looked like, hey, this is a real contender, and maybe they still will. You don't know. But to people just like, oh, you got to fire the GM for a collapse like this. It's like, what? So he didn't make the great moves at the deadline. Like, you're going to fire him for it when everything else has looked pretty okay? Like, obviously he's not been perfect, and there's a lot of complaints that you can have, and that's fair. But this is the dude's 3rd season, and they're looking at making the playoffs twice.
Yeah.
I mean, Dave Dombrowski's 4th season, they won 72 games, I think. And maybe his 5th season too. It wasn't until 2006 when they finally turned it around. So just give the guy a little breathing room. Give AJ Hinch a little breathing room. Don't trade Riley Green. I mean, you can consider trading any of those guys, right? Like these aren't necessarily like Hall of Famers, but there's some good young players in this team. And if you find a path to trade Carpenter or Torkelson or even Green, you got to explore it, I guess. But that doesn't feel like Scott Harris at all to me.
Yeah. Well, let's go back. No, it's not. I'm not saying this is all going to work out the same. But let's go back to 2006, right? Because you just brought it up with Dave Dombrowski. That team looked like it had everything sewn up. Lost its last 6 games. Blew the division. It looked ugly. They had games that they should have won, and they gave away in agonizing fashion. But they get into the playoffs with the wild card. They had that in their hip pocket. Get on a roll, beat the Yankees, and sweep the A's. And then, of course, had absolute madness happen to them in the World Series against the Cardinals with the pitchers not fielding the ball. Could this team do something like that? Because we've seen also a lot of fans saying, oh, even if they get to the playoffs, they're going to get killed. I don't even want to see them make the playoff. I've seen a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
But this team now has a magic number for a wild card of 2. So they have a very good chance to be playing next week. Can they win a 3-game series and then get the right opponent and win in the ALDS?
I don't see why not. I honestly, like, you know, they haven't won more than 5 games in a row at any point this year. But fortunately, you don't have to win 5 in a row in the playoffs, right? You can win 2 out of 3 and 3 out of 5 and 4 out of 7, and you're good. We've seen enough flashes of solid pitching from Flaherty and these other guys, and the offense can beat you. And we've seen also, like, over the last couple weeks, they're still getting guys on base. They just couldn't get a hit with men on base to save their life. So
yeah,
who knows, man? It's when in a short series, anything can happen. I remember distinctly the feeling in 2006. I mean, they lost a home series. They got swept by the Royals at home. And the Royals were pitiful.
Bad Royals team.
Yes. And so nobody had any hopes at all. They go into Yankee Stadium and lose game 1, as I recall.
Yep.
And then game 2 was kind of an iconic game in Tigers lore. Now, if you go back, I think Verlander started, and then Zumaya comes in and, you know, is infamously throwing 102, 103 and strikes out. But he struck out Jeter. He struck out, maybe not Jeter, but I don't remember who it was exactly. But he got A-Rod for sure. Yep. And they win that game. They come home. They win 2 more, right?
Easy.
And Bonderman is like perfect through 6 in the final game. And then there's this massive celebration. There's this huge weight off them. They go and sweep the A's, and they're in the World Series. Like, yeah. And that was not necessarily a spectacular team. They didn't have Miggy yet.
No, that's for sure.
So who knows? I mean, they could also get swept up. It's baseball.
That game that Verlander pitched game in Yankee Stadium, if I remember right, Johnny Damon, playing for the Yankees, missed a grand slam by like 2 feet. Yeah. I mean, he just crushed it, but it went foul, and then they got out of that inning, and that kind of put them on the right track.
Yeah, and then, you know, that's the crazy thing about playoff baseball is playoff baseball and playoff hockey are the best. They're just the best because I mentioned this the other day. Baseball and hockey it's tough because you can be a much better team and still lose in playoff baseball and playoff hockey. You don't see that nearly as much in football and basketball. but they're the best because it's like anything can happen. It's so tense, and a ground ball off the bag could be the key play in a series. Just something that you wouldn't see an entire season, and or a funky bounce in the corner lets a run score. It's just baseball is really crazy when you get into small series.
One bad call,
Yep.
Not that umpires make bad calls, but occasionally.
Yeah. What was the one where with AJ Pierzynski stole the walk or whatever? Or did he steal a strikeout? I'm trying to remember. There was one play. I don't know. I feel like that was the White Sox in 2005 where.
Yeah.
The
Astros.
Yeah, there was some nonsense there, and
Mitchell Stachnik here with a good question: Melton or Mize in Game 3? In my mind, my first thought of that is yes, both of them. Whichever one starts, go through the order once. The next one comes in, he goes through the order once, and all of a sudden you got 2/3 of that game in your hip pocket.
I really kind of like the Melton Herder tandem in some way. Just really hard throwing righty, and then the lefty with a funky angle coming back. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think Skubal's going to have, a long leash, and everybody else is going to have a short leash, and we're going to have a bunch of guys who are going to go 2-3 innings.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, I don't know if Troy Melton. He's a rookie. I still think I'd probably go with Mize at this point. Maybe that's not the right decision, but
you kind of know what you're going to get from Casey Mize at this point, right? Like, for the most part, he's had the meltdowns down the stretch, but the last 3 outings have been quintessential Casey Mize. It's like 5 2/3, 3 runs, like every time.
Solo homer.
Yeah, and you can live with that in the playoffs. I mean, it's not ideal. You'd rather have obviously 6 scoreless, but if you know what you're going to get, you're going to get that. Now he doesn't have the swing and miss that you need consistently. Although Melton seems to have it occasionally, but he's not racking up big strikeout totals yet either. So, and on the other hand, I think Flaherty kind of chases the swing and miss a little too much. So,
I just think Mize can get through the order once. I think it just feels to me like he tends to give up those runs in the 4th and 5th inning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense to me. I think a lot of what you see in the playoffs is you push your luck sometimes. Like, hey, he's got through these 3 innings, we'll give him some more, and then suddenly it snowballs on you. So, but AJ Hinch infamously, who did he take out too early? Zach Greinke? Was that for the Astros?
Yeah.
Game 7, I think, took him out really early, and then it all fell apart.
Mm-hmm.
So it can go both ways.
Well, you got to trust your relievers when you go that route, but if one of them's off on a given night, go to hell.
Yeah.
Well, did you guys have anything for or by the numbers? Did we want to jump into that real quick?
Sure.
Yeah, I do.
All right. Well, why don't you start us off then, Chris? I don't have the jingle today. Sorry, y'all.
No, it's all good. Let me So yeah, my number's 5. My segments are all Tigers, but my inside the number is not. My number is 5, and this is we could play a little trivia here. 5 is the number of players in MLB history to hit 30 home runs or more and steal 15 or more bases at age 35 or older. You guys care to guess who those players might be? There's some names on here that you would maybe not guess.
Barry Bonds.
Not Barry Bonds.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that would be my gimme.
Damn. I'm bad at this. I'm really bad at historical stats.
35 homers and 15 steals.
Yeah, Barry Bonds. 30 homers and 15 steals after age 35. Barry Bonds at 99, 34 homers, 15 steals at age 34. Never stole more than 13 again.
Okay. Willie Mays.
Nope.
Really? Damn.
No. Somebody's done it this year. That's why I brought it up. So you can maybe get that one. Maybe.
No. Did Griffey Jr. do it?
Who's that?
Did Griffey Jr. do it?
He did not. Kevin, good guess. Ricky Henderson did not do that. I don't think Ricky ever hit 30 home runs, did he?
No, he might not have.
Ricky topped out at 28 a couple times. He stole an awful lot of bases after age 35, but yeah.
Trent
never had-
Grisham.
No, I don't think he's 35
No, he's
yet.
probably not 35. Yeah.
He did have a crazy good year, though. I was kind of out of nowhere.
Henry Aaron.
Hank Aaron did not do it.
Yeah.
All of these players have done this since 1985. And the one in 1985 is the least likely, the one I would least suspect. Sorry. I'm sure that doesn't help. I don't know if this dead air is good for anybody, but I can tell you now if you guys want to, you don't want to
Go
guess
for it.
anymore.
You stumped us completely.
So the player who's done it this year, George Springer.
Huh?
George Springer has 30 home runs and 16 steals at age 35. He's also hitting 304, hitting over 300 for the first time in his career.
Renaissance year.
Yeah,
I didn't even know he was 35. Holy crap.
awesome bounce back year. Jose Ramirez is not quite 35, Mitch, but he may join this list soon. The other four, Andres Galarraga did it twice.
Huh?
1996, 1997 with the Rockies. 47 homers and 18 steals, 41 homers and 15 steals. Alfonso Soriano did it in 2013. 34 homers, 18 steals. Reggie Sanders did it in 2003. 31 homers, 15 steals. And in 1985, Carlton Fisk did it. 37 home runs and 17 steals. Carlton Fisk as a 37-year-old catcher.
He had to be behind somebody fast and had double steals. Had to be.
Was there anybody fast on the 85 White Sox? This is
I
your
don't know.
territory.
I mean, do you ever remember Fisk running? I mean,
I remember Carlton Fisk as like a 42-year-old on the White Sox. That's my memory of him in the early 90s. So I didn't think he was ever fast. But
that's
who knows?
amazing.
So that was my Inside the Number. 5, George Springer joining a very exclusive club.
Interesting. All right, what do you got, you?
All right, mine is very simple, and it's for something to everyone to look forward to this weekend, and see if it plays a role. So my numbers are 7, 6, and 5. Okay, in the last 7 games, Boston Red Sox shortstop Trevor Story has 6 errors. 5 of them are throwing errors to first base. He might have the yips. So let's see if he throws one into the bleachers, into the first base stands there this weekend against the Tigers, and maybe lights a big inning on fire.
I love that.
That's a nice one. Yeah, that's good research.
Insane. Really, I don't know what it is. I always root for the shortstops from the Rockies. You know, there's always a shortstop from the Rockies. Always had a soft spot in my heart for him, and I don't understand why. I love Troy Tulowitzki.
Sure.
Nolan Arenado. I love him. I don't know. And mine's not even open right now. Mine, when I was writing these, I was still kind of upset. Tigers had not won. So mine are 9.1 and 4. This is Cal Rally's F War versus Dylan Dingler's F War right now. I know that we don't talk much about Seattle catchers. Their games are on at 10:10 at night. I'm usually in bed, so I'm not watching many of these games. But I just feel like it's worth. He has 9.1 F4. If he mashes a couple home runs in these last couple games, he could have the highest F4 for a catcher ever. Now, there is some flaws with that. Supposedly, Fangraphs does not take pitch framing into account after a certain point, and that specifically hurts Johnny Bench. So that might have something to do with it, but it's worth pointing out, and that's the 9.1, but the 4, and this is also, I guess this is something positive about the Tigers. That is Dylan Dingler's F4 for this year. If you don't really know it, he's graded out great defensively, and he's had a really solid offensive season after honestly looking completely lost in September last year. Obviously, he was just called up. He's a catcher. Obviously, that can happen. Just he really looked lost, and it didn't look like he was putting together any real at-bats last year. So for him to come in and do this, and I also just ran some numbers inside of that because I just thought it was interesting. 4 F-WAR is actually the 4th highest for a catcher in the entire league if you go to 400 plate appearances. So there's 16 catchers. And if you up that to 450, it takes out Will Smith, which puts Dylan Dingler at number 3.
Wow.
So Dylan Dingler is a top 5 catcher already. I mean,
Yeah.
the numbers say it right now. So
Yeah.
it's crazy.
You can argue he's. I mean, Cal Raleigh's doing the insanity. Like I never in my life thought I would see a catcher hit 50 home runs, let alone 60. A switch hitter, get out of here. But yeah, you can make the argument that Dinkler is one of the best two-way catchers in all of baseball. Like he grades out really well defensively. I think it's basically him and was it Alejandro Kirk is grading out really well this year. And of course,
Yes.
Raleigh is just going bonkers. So
that is the other one ahead of him. Yes, that and then Will Smith, who missed some time.
So yeah, I mean that's pretty awesome. That it's nice. He's kind of reached. For a long time, it didn't feel like he was going to get there. He's always had this talent, but it was like I don't know. And I think he can continue to get better. Now catchers can really, wear down quickly. Ask Adley Rutschman or Matt Wieters or any of these other catchers who just kind of disappear. So hopefully they can find a way to keep him healthy. But yeah, I mean, he's looking like a pretty darn good player for the next few years.
Yeah, and Deadly Ninja Bees, Jake Rogers enjoying retirement. Yeah, I've seen multiple articles written about how Jake Rogers is taking the fact that some kid just came up and took his job. He got injured and now his job's gone.
Mm-hmm. He's probably found his level. He probably was always destined to be everybody's favorite backup catcher. And it's like
backup catcher is an important role. 100 of them get traded every trade deadline. You're gonna see the whole country there, Jake Rogers.
I think the thing, when you talk about Dylan Dingler, last year, yeah, he was a little bit overmatched. He wasn't 100% ready. He came back this year. He got off to that fast start. I think he walked like once in his first 50 plate appearances or something.
Yeah.
I mean, so it really seemed like there's no way he's going to be able to keep up that pace. But boy, lo and behold, he has maintained the offensive level pretty much all year, and the walk rate's even ticked up a little.
Yeah, and for as aggressive as he is, he doesn't necessarily feel that. It's not like taking these Javi swings, right? Like he strikes out a fair amount, but he makes a lot of contact, and he's another guy I can picture as the years go on and he gets more comfortable. I can picture his walk rate bumping up probably significantly.
Mm-hmm.
Now I think he's at his best probably when he's hunting pitches and hitting them hard, but maybe down the road if he loses a little bit of bat speed, I think he can counteract that with some on base percentage stuff. So because he walked plenty in the minors. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot to like there, and he's looking like a real big piece of the core.
Do you think that he's going to be a good enough hitter where, as he ages, when he doesn't catch, they get him at first base or something?
That's a good question.
When he got drafted, people wonder, well, he could play left field because he's fast. Obviously that didn't happen.
I mean, I could see a scenario, especially like if you get another solid catcher and you want your righty heavy lineup in there. I don't know, maybe Torque's gone for some reason, and you throw him at first base or DH for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think they've already done that a couple times this year. So, not first base, but I think he's batted. I think he's been in the lineup with Rogers a time or two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he has. I mean, I think part of that is
we got a fun question for Bruce Jane here for our resident umpire.
Yes.
Yoop, what is your opinion of the coming pitch challenge system?
I think I surprised people by saying I've always been relatively in favor of it. I don't think it's going to, I think, number one, I think it's going to show the umpires are nowhere near as bad as people think, that they're going to get a lot of calls judged correctly, that people didn't see. I would have no problem, and I've said this for a long time now, if they were allowed to have more challenges than the 2 per game. I would go so far as to say a team could have 1 per inning. What's the difference? It can be adjudicated really fast. But with 2 per game, they're going to have to be very, very judicious how they use those things, and and that's the bad part about baseball. Boy, 1 call in the second inning might unleash an 8-run rally. So to save that challenge might not be worth it. So it's going to be very interesting to see how teams choose. I do know that some teams have put in a rule where they don't allow pitchers to make the challenge because it looks like pitchers have the worst angle or the worst feel, and their challenges get overridden the most. Where hitters and catchers have a much better rate of success, from what I've understood. I really am. I'm glad they didn't go full robo ump. I think that would have sucked. I really do. I think this will be fun. I think it'll be good, and I think umpires will quit themselves pretty well.
I just assumed it would be like football rules. You just keep using it, and if you get it right over and over again, you just roll it over. You know,
it is. Yeah.
So you get 2 misses, basically.
Yeah, and I've seen them use this plenty. I think when they first rolled it out, it was like 6.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen it plenty in low A and in triple A. And yeah, I mean, the pitchers are not great at it, as you said. It is, but catchers and batters are surprisingly strong. And what you find out, and to Youp's point, a lot of pitches that look bad when you're watching the games, maybe because they're just kind of they're far away from where the catcher was, or they just are way up in the corner. Turns out that they are catching a part of the zone, and you get away with calling them a strike. Like, I think you're actually going to get more strikes called, if that makes any sense. But it gives you a chance to really challenge those egregious calls. And it is interesting that the sort of philosophy that teams use when doing this. There are a lot of them that some people said wait until later in the count to use it, but some teams are like, no, do it early in the count because that's huge. It's a much bigger difference if you're ahead 1-0 than down 0-1.
Yeah.
And you know when to use them in a game and which players. I'm sure there'll be some players who were like, nope, you cannot do this. You are not allowed to do this. But we see that big leaguers have incredible eyes. Like even like Javi Baez, if you let him just throw a bunch of pitches and ask him if it's a strike or a ball, he'd probably tell you what it is. Like 98% of the time. Sure. It just happens to swing at all the balls anyway. So I'm excited for it. I think people are going to like it. It's actually kind of fun when they take the little pause and they go to the screen and you the anticipation of this digital ball rolling in and then it just misses or it catches the bottom corner. It's kind of fun. So,
I mean, fair. I'm not against it. I think it's wild that people are against it, but I also agree with you, but I don't think full robot umps. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, again, I just think that this is the first step on the way to Blurns ball, though. So give it a couple hundred years. That's where we'll end up.
Well, I mean, yeah, they tried the full robot in AAA, and it did not work out close to the way they had hoped. It led to a huge explosion in walks, and nobody liked it. The hitters didn't like it. The pitchers didn't like it. The catchers didn't like it. The umpires didn't like it. So they're like, eh. And the challenge system, it really is. It's better. Yeah, I think it is. You know,
and this is honest too. The computer doesn't know the score is 14-1 in the 9th inning, and you call a couple strikes to get the hell out of there, which every umpire does on every level of baseball.
Yeah.
People would miss that in a real ball game.
Chris, I need to tell you before we move on. We can get to our next segments, but for one brief moment, when you said that full robot umps caused explosions, like the small pause after that word, I cannot tell you where my mind was going. I was like, what? Robot umps caused explosions?
You know, that was used to back in the day when I did I had my first little internet radio show, Bad Hop Radio. I used to like do a Jim Leland segment every not every show, but often. I would just kind of do my Jim Leland impersonation. Yeah. And it kind of devolved into him being super scared of the singularity for some reason. He was all worried about, he didn't want robot umps because, first thing you get robot umps and you got robot fans and then you get robot universe and then humans don't need anymore. But, so
I love it.
Anyway, no more singularity.
We are hitting the hour mark, but let's get to good, bad, and the ugly before we get out of here. At the very least, let's just go same order. Chris, why don't you start us off with no jingle again? Sorry, everybody.
It's all good. I do see Raj here. I don't know if you want to hit that jingle or no. You good? Yeah, he's going to do it.
Oh,
he's going to do it.
I think we're
you
going
guys,
to get
you don't want to miss the jingle.
I like him.
We there? We good?
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, my good, like I said, this is going to be all Tigers based. My good is Will Vest, and not necessarily because he's been good, but it's good that he didn't blow the game tonight. Because if he had blown 3 consecutive games where the Tigers had a lead and like had a chance to stop this skid, uh, I don't know if people would have ever forgiven him, right? Like that's the sort of stuff where you just go, oh, remember that year where Will Vest just stopped working and he never pitched really late innings again? Like that would have happened. So good for him to come out there and get a shutdown inning, and good for everybody to get that little bit of weight off their shoulders. Still got to go out and finish some business, but that was huge. My bad is Troy Melton's cutter. Now, Troy Melton is a fun young pitcher. We like him a lot, but maybe he should stop throwing this cutter. It was kind of an issue in AAA as well. And if you look on Baseball Savant, he throws 6 different pitches, and the results on all of them are pretty good. The weighted on base average is under 300 on the 4-seamer, slider, splitter, and curve. So that's good. Anything under 300 is good. And it's 316 on the sinker. I think sinkers are always, a little hit and miss, and that wouldn't be your go-to fastball. It's just something to kind of change your pace. The cutter, it's 589. Batters are hitting 353 with a 1,059 slugging percentage against this cutter this year. He's given up 4 home runs in under 70 pitches, and tonight he threw 2 of them. One was fouled away. One was an RBI double by CJ Kafis. So let's just go ahead and just toss that one out. We'll get that. We'll come back to that next year.
Shelve that.
No more cutters, more splitters. If you're worried about left-handed batters, throw more splitters because this cutter ain't getting the job done. So that's my bad. And my ugly, and I don't want to get down on these guys too much, but it's something that, Raj and I did the live stream of the Seawolves last night, Erie Seawolves, trying to win the Eastern League Championship for the 3rd straight year. And they've had a lot of players who've had awesome seasons and a lot of highly ranked prospects. But the top 4 in their order last night had a terrible game. This would be Max Clark, who went 0 for 5 with 2 strikeouts. John Peck, who did have a single. He went 1 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. You got Kevin McGonigal, who went 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts, and Josue Briseño, who went 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. So that's 1 for 17 with 10 strikeouts for 4 of the best hitters on the team. Tough to win that way. Tyron Lorenzo did have a good game, a couple doubles and a walk, but and the odd thing, they ran into a big league pitcher. Like the kid who was pitching for Binghamton was really good. His split change was diabolical for the first couple innings, and he was throwing 96 to 98, and then he broke out this nasty slurve in like the 3rd or 4th inning. You're like, what the hell? What is this? And I've always talked about like Kevin McGonigal. You're usually not going to get him to strike out or swing and miss at the same pitch twice, and he didn't. He struck him out with 3 different pitches. He got him with a changeup in the first inning. He got him with the slurve in his second at bat, and he got him with a fastball in his 3rd at bat. It's the first time in Kevin McGonigal's career he's struck out swinging 3 times in one game. Just the 3rd time in his entire career that he struck out 3 times in one game. So rough night for those guys, but they came up against kind of a juggernaut in pitching. So I'm just saying it was a little bit ugly, but still a great season for all of them.
Do you have the name of the Binghamton pitcher?
It was Jack Wininger, I believe, right?
Wininger.
Yeah. He's considered one of their top 10, 15 prospects, but the Mets have turned into this absolute pitching development machine.
Yeah.
We saw some of the rookies they brought up this year, and it still hasn't helped them very much. So what are you going to do?
That's true. All right, go ahead, you.
Okay, my good. Got to go way back. Well, actually, 2nd time now. We go back 2006. I was at a game at the Metrodome, Twins, Tigers, Johan Santana versus Jeremy Bonderman. And unfortunately, that day, it was a hell of a good ball game, but it became to be known in Tigers lore as the Bonderman meltdown game. Basically, make a long story not quite as long. Santana was on the ropes all day. The Tigers had base runners all over the place. They ended up only putting 3 runs on when they should have had 8 because Santana was just that good in those days. He just hung in there and kept getting the right people out. Bonderman allowed a bunt single in the first inning and then retired 22 consecutive batters. He was just on fire. He looked incredible. Then what happened is there was a chopper. There was a terrible error by Guillen. There was another little infield Metrodome chopper. One decent single, and then Bonderman balked. And all of a sudden, 4 runs had scored, and nobody had barely hit a ball hard. It was just your typical Metrodome rally. And I always felt Jeremy Bonderman, people really held that game against them because the Tigers started kind of going downhill a little bit. This was in late August, and they were never quite the same the rest of the year. I think they finished 19-31 in their last 50. So I felt like Bonderman lived at that a long time. So to me, having watched the Tarek Skubal meltdown in the 6th inning, we need to wipe away the Jeremy Bonderman meltdown. So good for him. I think that one, the Skubal inning was much worse than the meltdown inning for Jeremy Bonderman. So we'll go with that. And we talked about Skubal's inning, and that's fine. It happened. Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm looking. There's some sort of stormtrooper or something up here in the top right corner. Not a stormtrooper. What is that? Sorry.
Where?
I see it on my screen. I don't know. Does anybody else see it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I pointed at it a couple times.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Ed 209.
Oh.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. We've talked about this game before, that Bonderman meltdown. Yeah, that was something else. And it really, it's good that you bring that up because those Twin teams were a lot like these Guardians teams.
Absolutely.
They had a couple stars in the middle of the lineup and then just a bunch of bums who gave the Tigers fits.
Pitching
Nick
and
Punto.
defense and infield hits.
Nick Punto and the Piranhas.
Yeah.
So, anyway, go ahead.
So that was quite a game to be at, I'll tell you. Oh, man. Alejandro Kirk, speaking of him, last night, scorches a line drive in the right field. Busting his ass as only he can. And the right fielder one hop to throw and got him. Felt pretty bad with the old 9-3 put out on
Yeah, to end the game.
in the game, yes.
Yeah, last out.
So, because here's the thing. As an umpire, I don't do too many young kids, but when you umpire between 9U and 12U, you see the right fielder playing really shallow because they should, because nobody can hit over their head when they're that little. So you see the 9-3 put out a fair amount. I mean, really. You don't see it with the pros very often, though. So that was pretty amusing play for Alejandro. Though he's had a hell of a year, though, so he'll live through that. Also, from the Blue Jays, and Chris brought up George Springer. He had a play recently where he scorched one down the third baseline, and the umpire called it foul. And he thought for sure it was fair that it went over the part of the bag on a one hopper. Would have been a double, would have been a huge play. Then he ended up striking out on a bad call to really get his goat. Here's the thing, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I'm going to keep saying I write it to people. It is unbelievable that they don't have a camera right on the foul lines, looking straight down the line. We always get these angles that are just slightly off and they're not perfect. Put a camera right where you'll see if that ball is over the bag or not. I don't see what the point, why they won't do it. Make that a reviewable play and put the camera in the right spot and see if it helps. Because those cameras are, honest to God, you could put a Ring doorbell camera on there for $50 and you'd have it fixed.
Go next door and steal the pylon cam from Ford Field. Like, yeah, there are certain things in sports where it's like, why have you not done this yet? Like just this year, NFL instituted digital first down markers, right?
Yeah.
It's like this technology has been around for like 25 years now, guys. It's like, what took you so long?
Tennis has been using those kinds of cameras for all that stuff for years for like line judge stuff. So yeah.
Yes.
And we've got cameras that are so high speed in baseball that they could tell you that the RPMs and the seam shifted wake and all this stuff. Like the cameras should be able to tell you if it's fair or foul, right? Like it should all be there. I don't know. They just there's not enough.
Again, it's not like it's going to cost so much to do it. It costs them basically a rounding error for them to fix it.
Yeah. It's fair. I've never really thought about that, but now that you mention it, it seems really stupid. Yeah. I'll just do mine real quick. My good is, oh my God, the Tigers know how to win a baseball game. And the significance of this is I wrote this after the Riley Green solo shot. And I was like, I couldn't think of something good. I had everything else done. And I was staring at a blank spot in my little notepad. Like, I have no idea what to put for this right now. Wasn't feeling very positively. And after that Riley Green solo shot, was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna plant my stake, and I have nothing else. So if they didn't win, I was gonna have no idea what I was gonna say for this. But oh my god, they remember. I couldn't handle the shit from the Cleveland friends. It's been a rough couple weeks, and they can win. It feels good to know they're gonna win. I had already told some people, like, well, at least the Lions are gonna kill the Browns this weekend. Like, I was already looking for other ways to get over it, but I'm not a big fan of Cleveland right now.
I bet Yoop isn't either.
Yeah.
No. Funny thing is, I only watched the fourth quarter of that game, which was the absolute worst time to watch.
My bad is something that I feel like we don't really talk too much about, being, focused on the team, but I think this is a really bad year for the end of the year award races. It feels like every single award except for maybe the National League Rookie of the Year, but AL Rookie of the Year is going to Kurtz. We have Skubal and Skeens for Cy Young. We have Judge and Ohtani for MVP. I understand that Cal Rayleigh's doing crazy things, but I actually think that Judge might handily win the MVP. Maybe that is something that is more up for debate, but ultimately, I don't think there's that much going on with these, and it's kind of a bummer. It's like, I know it's a stupid argument you can get into with anybody, but maybe that's why I like it so much. It's like the accessible parts of this. I love just anybody's argument for any player, but it just doesn't feel like that many arguments for that many players this year.
How much does Skubal beat Crochet by in the voting? Is it even close?
I think it'll be close, but I think it'll be. I bet Crochet will get a couple first place votes because he'll probably end up with, especially if Skubal doesn't pitch on Sunday, he'll end up with more strikeouts and more innings pitched and more wins, right? Skubal's got the ERA and the WAR, and but I think most people will still give it to Skubal.
I do too.
Yeah, I mean the Rally Judge one is kind of fun just because it's. We saw this with Miggy, I think, and with Mike Trout to a certain extent. When these guys are so incredibly good, you kind of get tired of them, of giving them awards. But just go ahead and look at Aaron Judge's baseball reference page, and it's like, oh, wait, like as much as we hate to acknowledge this because he's a Yankee and, whatever, this is one of the best hitters of all time. It's annoying. He's got like a 213 OPS plus this year. There are like fewer than, 30 seasons in baseball history with a over 200 OPS plus. I need to look that up right now before I make sure I'm not talking about my butt. But yeah, he's a monster, and he's having another awesome season. And Cal Raleigh deserves to get every second place vote.
Right.
But I do think Judge will probably take it home.
Who was that incredible writer for Bless You Boys who said the Tigers should draft Aaron Judge?
Was that you? I don't remember who did it.
Yeah, that was me.
Fair enough. For Bless You Boys?
Yeah.
Well, I'll be damned.
I wrote for them for a couple of years there.
Nice. Yeah, well, he went what? When did he go? 31st? No,
Yeah.
32nd. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
Tigers they took Jonathan Crawford at 21.
What are you gonna do? At least they got Alfredo Simon out of him, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Well,
I do the National League Rookie of the Year. I assume is going to go to Drake Baldwin, but I guess that is like I've heard people say Cade Horton, or there's somebody else that I'm missing.
McLean probably hasn't pitched enough.
For the most part.
Yeah, I don't think McLean has pitched enough. I don't think there's somebody else who hasn't quite pitched enough. But yeah, and I don't. Raj, you don't. I mean, I see Raj on the screen. He's not talking, but we're in the BBWAA, but we don't have votes on any of this stuff this year. I don't know how that goes. No, he's popping on.
Here he comes.
Because
So I think we do have so we did vote. I don't know if you saw that this year that we have the vote for the reliever, the new award. Did you vote? You voted for that?
I didn't see that.
Oh yeah, they asked everybody if they wanted to add the new award.
Oh, to add it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I thought you said you voted for it. So
yeah, sorry.
That's all good. We get to vote for the Tiger Player of the Year for the first chapter, and I think I'm not sure when we vote for MVP and all that. I think it's after 5 or 10. I think it's 5 years. I think I don't.
Maybe, yeah. And every now and then they it's kind of random, right? It goes to somebody random in each city. So
Right.
down the road, we might not be able to talk to you guys about any of this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Or else it'll be that. But 10 years to get to Hall of Fame. So next year will be year 4 for me, and then next year is
Year 2 for me. Yep.
And hopefully they'll give you a better picture next year.
I mean, we don't talk too much about this stuff. Like obviously with Cy Young with Tarek Skubal, but like I don't think we spent too much time on this.
No,
But yeah, it's not that much.
It is.
Anyway.
I mean, it's something I used to care about a ton when I was a kid and collecting baseball cards. Right, I thought every rookie of the year was destined to be a star, and then not half of them turned out to be Pat Listash.
Very true.
Milt Kyler was a top rookie. It was kind of some rookie of the year award votes. So I don't know what that's worth.
Yeah, there's baseball is kind of littered with years where there's just like, well, I guess it's Chris Coughlin,
Matt Noakes, yeah.
I'm trying to think of. Yeah, Andrew Bailey, the reliever for the A's, right? Sometimes there's just no good rookies, and sometimes there's crazy good rookies. Like Nick Kurtz, we talked about it a few weeks ago. He's having one of the greatest rookie hitting seasons of all time.
And I got him for a song in our league, Uber.
Oh, good.
Well, you got him for Aaron Nola, right? Like,
but then Nolan went down 2 weeks later, and I was just like,
he got hurt later. Yeah,
but you wanted to give him up. It's cool.
Just to wrap this up so we can move on, I just mentioned the ugly. We haven't talked about this team much either, because why would you? The Colorado Rockies. They have a negative 412 run differential, which is easily the worst in the modern era. Modern era, not 1899 Spiders. Like everybody brings that up. That's not what we're talking about in modern baseball. 2003 and 2019 Tigers are on the list of worst. They're at number 5 and number 6 with 337 and 333. But I don't know we don't have to talk about this because we're kind of at the end of it. But if we had time, I was going to ask you: is last year's White Sox worse than this year's Rockies team? Which team is worse, do you think? Because they had more losses, but better run differential by a lot.
Well, at least the White Sox last year had Garrett Crochet, so one day every 5, their fans had reason to watch.
Yeah, and the White Sox last year felt like they were kind of playing like the Tigers this last 2 weeks, right? Where not only were they bad, but also everything that could possibly go wrong did go wrong. Like they had games where they were up in the 9th and then would lose on like a ball like falling off their second baseman's head somehow. Like it just was ridiculous.
Yeah, they lost a fly ball in the lights once to lose a game in extra innings. You're right. I remember.
Yeah, I mean this Rockies team, they're terrible. I'll say that for sure. But they managed to avoid the worst record of all time. But I don't know. I kind of give them a pass on the run differential because of where they play. Right, like even when they're good, they give up a ton of runs because they play there. But it's a good. It would be fun to take this year's Rockies team and last year's White Sox team and play them against each other in various simulations and see who wins.
Ooh, there'd be a
okay.
lot. I mean, would there be a lot of runs? I don't know. Anyway, go ahead.
So the Tigers play the Red Sox. They have 2 lefties lined up against them Friday and Saturday, right? They go Kyle Harrison, 3.58 ERA, brought him over from the Giants in the Rafael Devers trade. Then the rookie Conley Early, sporting a .188 ERA, not in a ton of innings, but still hot rookie. But the Tigers, their record against lefties has been pretty solid. It's going to limit Kerry Carpenter. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, Messick had been pretty good.
Yeah.
Until tonight, 2.08 ERA, giving up a fair amount of hits. And Jahmai Jones has been a real weapon against lefties this year. As he's channeling his inner Matt Asasopo. I don't know. I mean, sometimes Kyle Harrison has always been. He always reminded me of Daniel Norris a little bit. He throws across his body as a lefty. He throws harder. Of course, Norris threw pretty hard when he was young too.
Mm-hmm.
But he always had trouble throwing strikes. I don't know if that's still an issue, and I don't know if it matters for the Tigers these days. They don't seem terribly patient, but they can, they destroyed the Red Sox when they came to Detroit.
Yes.
Obviously that's a different team, and both 2 different teams. The Tigers were rolling, and the Red Sox were not. But I don't know. Who knows? They may match up pretty well with this team.
Roman Anthony's out. That's
Yep.
helps the Tigers because he was looking pretty good. But they got a pretty decent little lineup. I mean, they got a lot of guys who can hurt you.
Yeah.
So it's going to be, Casey Mize, does he have 5 solid innings in him? To turn that over to probably Holton or somebody. That should be very interesting to see.
The first game's on Apple TV. Gross.
Yeah.
I still don't have much. I do not feel positively about the Tigers. I
don't blame you.
It's fair.
Yeah, so I don't know if I could take it more than one game at a time, but I think the fact if they can get 1 to 2 hits with runners in scoring position in the first game, I'm not asking for a lot. I'm asking for like maybe 2 hits, 3 hits, runners in scoring position. I think I'd feel way better about the rest of the series, but that's ultimately what I'm looking for right now. I feel like Riley Green today was like a perfect encapsulation of that. Dude belts a first pitch out of the park, right? And in that at bat with the bases loaded and he swings on the ball in the dirt, just I don't know.
Yeah.
I realize that you can't pick that, and maybe it doesn't matter that much to the batter, but just the situational baseball that's happening. That's what I'm looking for in this last series. And ultimately, that's when I'm going to be scrutinizing everybody, I guess, when they're coming up to bat with a guy at second. That's my number one indicator right now. And that I feel like when they keep leaving, they leave 6 guys on in the first 4 innings, and I'm like, yeah, they're just not winning this game. So that's what I'm going to be looking for tomorrow.
I just think with these 2 lefties back to back, I really feel they'll get to one of them. I think they're going to. I got to believe they're going to get one of these first 2 games in Boston because of the left-hander, young lefties. They can overwhelm one of them out in the 2 nights. And I would love it if Malloy or somebody really shocked us with a ball over the monster. The other thing and I know they won't do this, and I don't know. What do I know? This is probably a stupid idea. I would play Carpenter, and he has opposite field power when he looks to use it. I would just try to tell him, Carey, sell out for knocking it off the monster. Other way. Just crush that thing over there. He's got the power to do it, and I think he could change a game.
Yeah, I recall him hitting a couple home runs over the monster, probably against righties. But I'm trying to look at their Tigers stats at Fenway. But I started with Riley Green, who has very good stats at Fenway, for what it's worth. 444 with 16 hits in 8 games, sir. I lost it. I scrolled up like a dummy. All right, here we go. Fenway Park, Riley Green, 16 for 36 with 2 doubles, a homer. So 444, 500, 583 for Riley Green. Torkelson, 214. And let me just get Kerry Carpenter real quick. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's an iconic ballpark. Sometimes it's fun for these guys to go in there and bang some balls off the wall. I do like the idea, like you said, they got a couple lefties in there. The Tigers do have those lefty mashers that are or at least theoretically lefty mashers. So getting early leads sure does seem to help, as evidenced by today again. All right, come on, Carpenter. Why is this? All right,
break our hearts again, can they? I mean, they can.
They can't, I mean, yeah, we could be coming back the next time. We could be talking about they went and got swept, and they're making golf reservations for the rest of the year.
Let's talk about the draft.
So Carpenter is 4 for 10 with 3 home runs at Fenway Park.
Ooh,
in a double, 3 home runs in a double, and 12 plate appearances, 2 walks. So 4 for 10. In 12 plate appearances with 3 homers, a double, and 2 walks. Play Carey.
Small sample city, baby. Let's do it.
Last question from Mitch. Is Colt out for the playoffs for sure? They haven't said he's out for the playoffs for sure. He's certainly out for the rest of the regular season. My guess, I mean, it was a rib cage issue.
It looks bad. When we talked to him the other day, it wasn't. Prognosis wasn't good. So they've been usually Hitch kind of indicates that. I'm not saying by HIPAA laws or anything like that, but he was wearing a kind of I want to say girdle, but
Yeah,
the brace,
Back brace.
yeah, back brace. So that wasn't good. So
yeah, if you're like swinging involves a whole lot of twisting.
yeah,
I don't think that's great for the rib cage area. So which is a bummer, right? Like my brother even sent me a text today. He's like, it's a shame that Keith is out because it seemed like you could always count on him to hit the ball hard with men on base at least. And I'm like, well, yeah, that does. I mean, that's probably selective memory, but it does. Like Keith was definitely another solid piece to the lineup and definitely a great bench bat for a game like tonight where you got a lefty starter and you could bring Colt Keith in with men on base and you feel pretty good about that, right? You know, he's not going to get it done every time, but yeah,
and hopefully he is back. But like they haven't even done swings or anything. Nothing's been indicated about that as of yet. So,
but, well. Yeah, all right, I guess see y'all on the other side at this point, right? We're either going to be talking about playoff baseball or I'm going to yell a lot.
It's going to be like the classic Batman 66. You know, will the Tigers make the postseason? Will Scott Harris be fired? Yeah, Scott Harris get fired. Will AJ Hinch punch somebody in the face? Find out next week.
I don't think any of those things are happening, but hopefully, who knows? Maybe, maybe there's a fight on the field or something. But go out. Be nice to see the Tigers go out and win a couple games and feel a little bit better heading into the postseason, make the postseason, and then we'll be previewing that soon.
Yes, there'll be preview for that. There's going to be so tomorrow I'll be doing my first ever roundtable live chat. So I'll be sending out
nice.
on my Twitter. So there'll be anybody wants to join me. For that, there's a way where there's a format they showed tonight that's really cool, and I need to get back on the horse a little bit. So after I sleep for 10 hours and all that, and take my cough syrup, I'm taking NyQuil tonight. It's a NyQuil night kind of.
Yeah, I see. You got some promethazine,
little
drink, and
Is it purple drink? Is it purple drink?
Yeah.
That's okay. That's what it is.
On some scissor.
Just chipping on some scissor. But they'll be live for that. And don't forget, next week, so we're doing our awards right now. October 7th, we're doing a show on Monday for the minor league awards. We're doing the voting and all that. So the minor league awards ceremony is actually the 29th, though. So we're like, screw it. We're going to have our own Night for the Tiger minor league report. And they'll be out in a couple weeks. We did a Discord. We're also going to do on Twitter Tiger Player of the Year. So everybody has a vote. So I thought it'd be kind of cool for everybody to have their own vote. So thanks everybody for tuning in this evening. We appreciate it. Stay classy, everybody. Tigers, hopefully in the postseason. Ed 209. Tigers, Ed 209 is now the official mascot. They just need to punish their way into the world or to get to the playoffs.
Is that RoboCop?
RoboCop, yeah.
Gotcha. What was the name of the drug in RoboCop 2?
Oh, wait!
Like
the red.
It was like Swank or Spank or something.
Yeah, like the kid was selling it, like that stupid
Nuke.
Yeah,
there it is.
Thank you. Yeah, that stupid kid. Remember that kid? That was
the
movie. Yeah, that kid.
It was. Yeah, the mastermind was like an 11-year-old.
Yeah, yeah. God, that was a terrible movie. Man, it was terrible. I don't know what was worse. That one or RoboCop 3.
I don't remember RoboCop 3.
But... yeah, exactly. All right, stay classy, everybody. Have a good night.
Good night.
I don't like my microphone.
Yeah, it sounds kind of rough right now. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's my voice too, though.